Rockstars, Eric Andres, your guitar sage here, and today I'm going to show you a way to think about your scales and about the patterns on the guitar that is absolutely going to blow your mind. And I like to call it know one form, know them all, okay? Now, with me saying this is more of an observation of these scales and what they do and how they're basically mirrored all across the fretboard. You know, when someone says, hey, there are 5 or 6 forms of the blues scale or 7 different forms of the major scale, that sort of thing, there is truth to that, but at the same time, what you're going to find is what I'm going to show you now is really the same form every single time, except it's starting on a different string, okay? Now, obviously, with that said, we can say, okay, these are all these different forms. But this new perspective, this new way of looking at these scales are going to help complement learning all those different forms. You can learn all those different forms, or you can do this one thing that I'm about to show you. I personally think it's an advantage to know both. But this one thing that I'm going to show you, if you only knew one, this is the thing to know, because you can literally take one form of a scale, play it all over the neck, and you're good, okay? So here it goes. So, you know, if we were to say play the pentatonic scale, in this case I'm going to be using G pentatonic, okay? And, you know, we have different forms. So like form 1 might look like this. By the way, these forms that I'm about to show you are free in the free ebook that's at YourGuitarSage.com. I also cover a lot of these in my courses, free courses below YourGuitarSage.com/30. Okay, so for instance, let's just take the pentatonic scale, and I have a video for this here on YouTube as well. Just type in Your Guitar Sage pentatonic, okay? Do that, because it's a great video. Now, if we took, let's say form 1, this is normally what's called form 1. We're only going to play 1 octave of it. You've probably seen this before, right? I'm at the 3rd position, meaning first finger's behind the 3rd fret, and I'm using fingers 1, 3, and 4. So here we go. So I'm going to play 1, 4 on the 6th string, 1, 3 on the 5th string, and 1, 3 again on the 4th string. So that pentatonic scale looks like this: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Right? So these notes are the same. It's a pentatonic scale, meaning the 5-note scale, and that's why we have 5 notes: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then this is a repeat again. And we know that's a repeat because I can same scale. Also part of the lesson here. So watch this. So basically, you know, what we're saying is let's take the pentatonic. We can take the major scale, you can take any scale and do this. But we'll just take pentatonic because it's easy and it's going to get the concept across to you. So if we play 1, 4, 1, 3, 1, 3, we can take that same form. And obviously, you maybe not obvious for you, we can move it up an entire octave and play the same thing, right? We know this part. It's kind of way out of my reach there, but you get the idea, right? Same idea, okay? We're going someplace with this. Now, you may be going, I know that, Eric. Geez, show us something better. And then I'll show you the next thing. You'll be like, I'm lost, right? So use this concept here, and we're going to, instead of just bumping up an octave this way, we're bumping up an octave across the strings, okay? So I have a technique that I like to call octave mirroring, or the springboard technique here on YouTube, Your Guitar Sage springboards. And basically, if you're on the 6th string, if you play a note and you want to find the octave, you go down 2 strings and up 2 frets, and that's the octave. So what I'm saying is every time that we have this G, we can play this form. And we can play all over the neck. So watch this. Here's a G. Watch this. Now, normally we would say right here, right? 1, 4, 1, 3, and then 1, 1, 3, right? But here's the deal. Anytime you come across the B string, when you're talking about these patterns, you have to play whatever it is you were going to play. You got to play it up a half step, because the B string is tuned down a half step naturally on the guitar. Don't overthink that. Just trust me on that. The B string is normally is on a standard tuned guitar is tuned down a half step lower than the other strings typically would. And so because of that, we have a pattern change. But if you remember this one little trick, super easy. So we're gonna play the same exact pattern. 1, 4, 1, 3, 1, 3. We're back at the G here, and I'm gonna play the same thing, but on that B string, I gotta move it up a half step. So I go 1, 4, 1, 3. Normally I play a 1, 3, but I'm going here. 1, 3. Watch. Nothing moves there, but when I get to the B string, okay, so I'm playing my blues. I could come up here, this octave as well, right? Now, we're going to go all over the neck. I told you we would, right? So there's a G. Here's a G, right? How do I know that? Because on video 3 or 4 in my free course at YourGuitarSage.com/30, you learned all the notes, right? That's how we know this. You better know all the notes on the fretboard. It takes with the method that I show you, it'll take you 5 minutes. Literally. So now here we are. Back here's a G, right? G. Here we are. This is the 5th string, 10th fret. So now I'm playing the same exact form. 1, 4, 1, 3, 1, 3. Right? So any place you have a G, you play that form. The only thing you got to remember is that B string, you got to pull it down a half step. Now, with that being said, since the B string is tuned down a half step, the high E, technically we got to do a little funky thing as well. So I'm going to show you here. So if this is my G, which it is, right? And here's a G. Well, here's a G as well. Okay, how do I know that? Because I went down 2, up 2. Now watch this. We got 1, 4. I would normally do a 1, 3, but I got to move it up because of that B string, right? And the E string is going to be the same way. Okay, so the B string is tuned down a half step, but you have to do that with the E string as well. Okay, basically they match. So in this case here, you have 1, 4, 2, 4, 2, 4. So just understand that the B string and beyond, whatever you normally would do on the lower strings, you're going to bump up a half step, but that's it. Now, what I want you to do is I want you to do this with something very simple, this form. Okay, so take your form, find any G that's on the fretboard, and as long as you don't come across that B string, you're not going to have an issue. Okay. There it is again. Here it is again. Here's the B string. Got to move up a half step. G again. G again. So in the E string, we're bumping up a half step as well. Also, just because of the way the guitar is tuned. Now, do this with something very simple with the pentatonic. Then you could do the blues scale. You know, you can do that anywhere. Now, all of a sudden, you're taking one form and you're playing it all over the fretboard. Now, again, remember I said, is it good to learn the other forms? I think it is. It's just kind of another perspective, another way of looking at the fretboard. But this is yet another way, and it's a really liberating way because it truly gets you to understand the inner workings of how the fretboard's laid out as opposed to just memorizing forms. Okay, and remember, forms or scales are good to know, but knowing more of them, if you're not good at the very simple, the basics. For instance, if you can't solo in form 1 of the blues scale or the pentatonic scale, why are you learning more forms? Don't do it. I get this question all the time. Learning more forms is helpful, but it's kind of like learning more words and you don't know how to put together phrases. You could have a dictionary, but if you don't know how to put words together and propositions and verbs and nouns and everything else, well then a dictionary is going to be fairly useless to you, okay, because you won't know how to assemble phrases, and that's what you got to do before learning all these different forms, okay? So understand this. The other really cool thing about this is that if you're playing and you have these licks down, well, you're going to play the same licks up here, down here, everywhere. You're going to be able to play the same lick, so it's not going to be like this foreign place that you're at on the neck. You're going to be like, oh, I got that go-to lick. Bam. If you want to change it up, then you just look at a different form or you know, play it a different way. But it's always good to have these things that we can go to so that when we're soloing and we find ourselves in a foreign place on the neck, we can go, oh, hold on, this isn't so foreign. This is that one shape that was related to this, you know, as opposed to just memorizing the shapes, okay? My friends, that's all I got for you today. Hopefully this helped. If it did, hit thumbs up, subscribe, all that good stuff. I'm on Facebook and Twitter. Would love to help you out there as well. Leave your comments below. I am here to help you. Get that free course, my friends. If you've been watching my video and haven't watched that free course, losing out. YourGuitarSage.com/30. As always, my friend, be kind to all beings. Don't trust the man. Practice your guitar, and I'll see you in the next video.